Hi there. How are you? So yes, this is a long time since I did one in English. So welcome back, or if it's the first time, I don't know. Welcome back. It's okay. You can breathe. The one in Hebrew is yes, it's still pointed for Israelis, Hebrew speakers. I will change it once I will get someone to do it for me because technically not so good. Anyway, I would like to start with a story, and the reason why I'm doing this live in English and it's because of my very, very, very good friend Hannah B or B Hannah. I don't know. My best friend, one of the best friends, and we just got back in touch after a long, long time. And she's the one who created my second ever lecture I ever gave. And it was funny. The first one was in Israel, and the second one somehow in Wales. And thanks to Hannah B, or B, sorry. Um, she changed the name, so it's a bit mixed in my mind yet. Anyway, so I got to give a lecture in Wales, my second one ever. It was together with her. She gave a yoga lesson, and then I gave the lecture. I was really, really in the beginning of how to explain what I do, and I still having hardship with it. So back then I was very, very bad. So the thing is the whole how the whole lecture came about and how it happened and whole my life. How and yesterday I sat down with my business coach and she said to me and I told her how I found someone to translate my website from Hebrew to English so you can also get to see it. And my book from English to Hebrew so I can, bring the book to Israelis as well. And I found, people who are doing it. And she's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, this is how I do. And the answer to it is that for the past 25 years, actually more, but very purposely, very consciously, very constantly, what I do in the past 25 years is to learn to love myself in every possible way, situation, or whatever comes about. Um, I won't go through all the story, from when I was 16 and almost killed myself. Yes, and I decided to stay and find a different way to live. And I say a different way because today I understand what's different about it. Um, just a couple of days ago, I saw another series in Netflix or whatever, and someone said there that all businesses who's built on fear will always stay strong because it's the most basic thing. Well, used to be. Sorry, guys, used to be. Fear is kind of outdated. If you're not noticing, get out of the news. You'll see life goes on without fear. It's great. So many people work on it and with it and live their life and love their life and live life that they love and love what they do and live in a relationship they love and so on and so on. And it's all start with yes, loving ourselves, and then the things just fall in places, like puzzle. I will go back into like what I mean about how to love life and how to love myself, and of course this will be my own 2 cents. Obviously, everyone has his own way of seeing it, much better than me already. Yet I will just share it because this is what I do for the past 25 years. This is what my lecture is about and what I speak about. And yes, you can live on love, and I am the living proof, literally, because I have no credentials whatsoever. Um, Driver license, German, basic German, and now I have a handicap license from the government because I have a CPTSD. Great. Hey, Anna. Yes, thanks to Hannah, the live is on. So I don't know if you see it, but She's writing to me. Whatever. Um, so, where was I? Yes. So for the past 25 years, I've been told so many times that you can't live without credentials, and you can't live without finishing the army, and you can't live without blah blah blah, and you can't live without blah blah blah, and this and this and this and this, and each one has his own belief system. Well, I kind of did this to each one of those things because I didn't finish school. I have only 10 years out of 12. I have absolutely no way of sitting down on a chair and listening to a teacher. I can't. So to sit down for 3 or 4 years, impossible. Not even in my no, can't do it. I didn't finish the army. In Israel, you must. Well, not anymore. It used to be. Yeah, well, you have to go to the army, but if you really don't want to, there's so many ways to get out of it. But the main idea is not if you can get out of it or not. It's not that. The idea is that I was told so many times that I won't be able to live this way or that way if I won't do this, if I won't do that, if I won't finish this thing, if I won't give this work for this art school, blah, 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 I won't be able to stay. Reason why I want to kill myself. I just lost it. I said, like, what is it? I can't just be. I can't just. I'm just here. Can I just leave? Why do I have to run after things? I can't. I can't live like this, and I never could. And one of the reasons I live with depression for over 30 years because my mind doesn't fit this world. So I decided to create another world, my own world, and to see how I can live differently and how I can create my own life without this stress going nuts. I can't live with this stress. So I started exploring. At the beginning, I didn't know what I'm doing. I started exploring, first of all, what I can or can't do, or what I love to do, what I want. What is it? People told me I can't do something, so I said, like, okay, let's check. So many times I can't even count. People told me that I can't do things, and I did it. I can't even count. And on the other side, if you can't do something, I just said, like, it's impossible. So I'm like, really? Whatever I could check or I could see if it's true, I did. I just started. After a couple of years, I got to know the what we call today the spiritual world. Today, there are books in the thousands. You are live like this, like me, like who knows how many, and all kind of farms around the world that you can go and practice all kind of meditation. Jesus Christ, my own mom, she's 79 years old. I love her to death. The most special person on the planet. But a week ago, she asked me, Uriel, do you meditate? I'm like, yeah, kind of. And what do you know about self-awareness? I'm like, oh my God. Wow, my mom asked me about self-awareness. Okay, the Messiah, those days, people are here. Guys, everything is fine. If my mom asked about meditation and self-awareness, everything is fine. Everything is fine. Because it used to be completely and today's out in the open. Everybody's speaking about it. Yes, I know. I was laughing to death, Hannah. um, and the thing is that today you can go and find your own way. It doesn't matter. Used to be all kind of gurus. You have to find your own, like, their way. Go learn from as many people you can. Of course, I did. I my 2 cents is that don't forget yourself. That's your teacher. That is your teacher. That is the teacher who will bring you to all those kind of gurus or teachers or whoever you want to learn from. and he or she will bring you there. That's your teacher. Your intuition is your own teacher. Intuition, your tuition, your own teacher is there. Just listen. But what all this got to do with love? And how do you live with it? How do you pay the bills? Well, I'll ask you a question first of all. First off, before anything, what would you do more? Something that you hate or something that you love? Now, I'm not going to wait for the answer because, well, you're not here. um, but I would guess, I would assume, I don't like to assume, but I would assume that you would, like to do something that you love more than what you don't. It's kind of natural. We're human beings. We like to do what we love to do. We don't like to do what we don't like to do. It's kind of simple, isn't it? But how do we know what we love? How do we know what we love to do? First of all, I can tell you from my own experience, from talks and conversations I had with people, and from my own life experience with myself. You already know. You already know what you love. It's already in you. It's growing there inside of you. Our job is to take this little part, the little doubty thing, and take it away, bit by bit. That's how we learn what we love. Slowly, slowly it comes out. I knew I loved talking ages ago. I couldn't stop. But it took me ages to even think of the idea of living on it and making a living and blah, blah, blah. I'm still not making a living, but I'm not working as well for 2.5 years. Interesting, isn't it? Those are the things that you learn on the way. Those are the best parts. Because the best part is not about what we love to do or what we love to be or blah, blah, all those titles. The best part is to learn that slowly, slowly, that it's all around us. It's always there. With time, the more I learn to love myself, it's not about I learn to know if I love this coffee or this way or that way. I love my coffees in three, four kind of ways because I love diversity. I love it. I literally drink coffee in three, four different kind of ways. I'm not talking even about the types of the coffees because that's also another diversity. This is how I love to live. I love to change. I love to do things. Otherwise, I get stuck. I don't like it. This is what I learned on the way. By the way of learning who I am and where I go and what I want to do and blah 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 and all kind of on. I learn about my beliefs. I learn about my patterns, my behavior patterns, of course. I learn about my thoughts and the way I think, and the way I converse with myself. Just lately, I said like, how do you expect to talk nicely to people, nicer anyway, if you don't talk nicer to yourself? It's impossible, isn't it? So my new practice to literally pay attention to my inner conversation harshly, like not harshly. You see, harshly. That's another way of all thinking. Lovingly, I pay attention to my inner conversation and notice things by bit. What don't I like? It's like taking weeds out of the garden because this is all awareness work is to pay attention to whatever you want to do or whatever you want to love or whatever you want to take your area and literally take the weeds out. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you, Doug. Mwah. I love you guys. Thank you very much. Um, well, you were there, you were in the beginning, so I hope I improved. Anyway, the thing is, why can you live on love? I'll try to always bring it to that because slowly, slowly, and this is what happened to myself. Let's say I used to believe I can't live without money. Literally used to believe it, and I used to be so stressful, even when I had no reason whatsoever. And I just worked on it, and my biggest and most extreme experience I did with it was to literally fly into Sydney with $120 Australian dollars in my pocket. Not outside from Australia. I was already in Australia with some money, and I literally literally spent it out, and to come to Sydney with literally almost no money, $120. And that experience alone changed my mind completely to a point that yes, of course, is some kind of agitation or some kind of like waking up or paying attention when don't have the money that I need to live with, obviously. But the stress that I used to have, oh my God, gone, long gone. It's there in some way, but it's like the volume. Like it used to be on 11. Are you nuts? Like in black and white video, if you remember. Are you nuts? And now it's like on one. It's there, kind of like getting me to get up and do what I need to do to make my own money. But hey, take it easy. Everything's fine. It's the same thing with anything, partners or work, or if I now as a parent, how I do this as a dad with my daughter, and like how they change my own environment. And it's always the same thing. Always the same thing. I take something, anything that bothers me, money, relationship, any relationship. It could be with parents, kids, friends, colleagues, intimate relationship, of course, sexual relationship, blah 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 relationship. We relate to everything. Even money is relationship, in a way. So we take a relationship with anything we want, and just like a complete stranger who might look like kind of like, oh, I don't know, want to talk to him because he looks weird. Ask yourself anytime you talk to any stranger what you think pretty much afterwards. Usually, it's like unless I don't know, you met a creep. Sometimes happen. The person is kind of like not a creep, kind of like out of the, out of psychic. He's kind of lost it. So, but it can give us the creeps. That's the words. It's kind of like weird. But what happened if you did talk to them? I met those people. I sometimes initiate conversation with those people. It's not easy, and I don't always do it. I do it when I want to. Not I don't have to. No, I don't use the weep. But what happened when we talk to them? What happened when we talk to that weird guy, that odd guy at work? What happened when we talk to that shy girl, that no one talks to? What happened? What happens? What's your thought? It's not that bad. She's actually cute. It's always the same. It's always the same. When we don't know, our thoughts run wild. Blah, 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 all the imagination, all the patterns, all the belief, shit like this and shit like that. And they run and run and run. And if we don't shut them up and they continue running. The thing is that when we get to know whatever it is, that person, that situation, that job, that relationship, that house, that whatever, by getting to know it, we drop the fear down. That's simple. I'll try to explain it again. The human mind is scared of the unknown. It's the most basic fear known to men. That's how the business run on fear. We're scared of it. We're scared of change. Okay, it's the deal we have to live with. Okay, no problem. But the thing is, if we're scared of what we don't know, if we get to know it, the fear drops. If by centimeter or by meter, it depends on the conversation you had with that person. You might fall in love with that person just by conversation. Simple. You just have to get to know. It's just like you meet it, and you're like, okay, and you just slowly get to know that person, that situation, that place, that whatever. If you want to live somewhere, okay, live somewhere. I live here in Amirim, in a village in Israel, one of the most beautiful places in Israel, sorry. And anyone I tell him I live in Amirim is like, wow, beautiful place. Every weekend is packed with people, come for a weekend. It's like this. And it's a vegan vegan vegetarian place. We're not allowed to have a barbecue outside, although people do eat meat. Some people. I'm 90% vegan. Um, I don't really count it, but it's there. The thing is, what I want to say is that I never thought of living here ever. Never crossed my mind in for a moment. Not imagination. Not oh wow. No, it's only that 20 years ago, I drove as a driver from my kibbutz where I used to live. I drove a few old people to all kind of hospitals, treatments, and one of them used to come to here. She was a vegan. She was, I say was because although she lived over 100 years, yes, vegan is good. Period. You can do whatever you want with it. I used to drive her here for 2, 3 treatments. I remember it. I remember the feeling was like, wow, what a beautiful place. So when my ex decided she wants to live here, I never thought twice about it. So like, wow, yeah, that's a beautiful place. Let's do. And we lived. Period. We found a place. Today it's almost impossible to find a place to live here. Anyone I meet, I tell them good luck. I do say that it's possible, but good luck and be patient. Um, Everybody wants to live here. It's so nice and quiet and peaceful. What I want to say is that the moment my mind remembered Amirim as a beautiful place, I never had to think about it and it just went with it. When we do have some kind of unknown in my mind, like I know how to make a cake until a couple of months ago. My mind had some experience. He saw someone makes a cake for me. And suddenly, when my daughter said, I want a cake, my mind said, okay, let's do that. And suddenly, I know how to make a cake. Now, I don't care about it because I know how to make a cake, so I don't care. It's like just a part, something I knew. Can we come and love there? You can always come and for a love and live there if you meant. It's possible. I would stay in Wales. Oh my God, I love your house. I love your house. Why just stay in your house? Beautiful place. I would come to live there. If you know what? Let's house swap. Let's house swap. I'll come to Wales to live there with my daughter, and you live here. Okay? Oh my God, I miss your house. So beautiful. Um, the thing is with love is that what we think, anything we think about, is out of fear. I don't mean I want some kind of like a okay. You know what? I have to explain something. We have two kind of thoughts. I noticed at least thoughts that are kind of like running around. We kind of getting to know them because we're very familiar. Oh yeah, I know those kind of pattern. It's kind of like yeah, I know those. You remember those like you remember your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, parents, teachers, friends, whoever told you. And sometimes you have the new thoughts. I call them like kind of new thoughts, or they feel like they're getting in. They're very new. They're very surprising. You'll be very surprised to see them. To think them like, oh, that's interesting. Where did that come from? Or you might think just afterwards, how didn't I think of that before? Well, because you didn't. That simple. But it happens to all of us. So the new kind of thoughts is what I call the initiative thoughts, the intuition thoughts. They're the one who tell us where to go, who to speak to, go to that job, get away from that. Go to that person, stay away from that person. It doesn't matter that it's good or bad. This is good for you, this is bad for you, period. It's not good or bad like a judgment. It's necessary for you. Let's say, okay, this is necessary for you. This person might open things for you. This person will not. That's good or bad. Okay? And the thing is the normal thoughts. The wheel, how do you call them? You can call them the monkey thoughts, the scarecrow thoughts, or whatever you want to call them. And those are built on fear. Period. Fear. We pick them out when we heard a mom say, "You can't live like that." Well, we didn't know. Our mom told us, okay, we can't live like that. You should do this. Okay, I don't know. So I take this. And so on and so on. Mom, dad, teachers, and so on. The thing is, that those things they told us are just belief systems. Their belief systems, not ours. Their belief systems. And they put them on us, and we carry them around. And we have a lot of work and a lot of energy to carry them around and to store them, to remember them, and to excuse them, and to to give them compliments and to make sure they're okay. And those beliefs, and suddenly, the beliefs sometimes don't fit. Suddenly, we meet a person that completely cracks our belief system. I learned that you can't live without money from my mom, of course, from my parents. This is how it, and obviously I understand before you crash me, you need money in order to pay for food and place to live in order to live. Yes, okay, understood. But I can't live without money here. I'm alive. I don't carry money. I don't eat money. I don't breathe money. You can live without money. And you can grow your food without money if you know how. And you can live with so much less money than you think. I have nothing against money, by the way. I love money. I love money. The more, I would love to give everyone as much as they want, if I could. But it's not it. It's just an object. It's just money. It's something. it's, it's energy. It's not. It's not reality. It's not real. You understand? You can eat food. You can eat money. I didn't say that. It's not mine. It's so old. And thank you. Anna. And the thing is that we spend so much energy on carrying all those thoughts and all those energy and all those belief systems and patterns and what my mom and dad and, and all everybody taught me. And the more I take those beliefs and take them like like a toothpick, like you take something, you remember, when you have something in your teeth, it drives me nuts. I hate that. And until it's out, it can drive you crazy. And when it's out, it's like now I can breathe. It's just something out. Imagine that as a thought that doesn't fit anymore. It used to. It doesn't fit anymore. It can be that those kind of people are bad. Are they? And men are like this, women are like that, money is like this, and house is very hard to find a job. Is it work? Is it does it work for you? I don't think to it's very hard to find a job is a good belief for anyone. Why would anyone hold that? I don't. And know I can find a job anytime. I having a hard time holding it, and that's my own belief system. But that's why I created my own business. Because I know that with bosses, well, I don't get too good along with bosses because I tend to see too many things and they don't like it. So I created my own business. But that's my own way. I went through 20 years of so many jobs, but to find them was always easy. In Sydney, I found a job within 6.5 hours. That was the most extreme to the point. Actually, when I think about it, in Tel Aviv, although it's in Israel, yes, I know Hebrew and stuff, it's my own town. Well, I found a job within 2 hours without knowing what I'm doing. I just landed there, dropped that bag in a new place I found, and 2 hours later, I was already working, literally working with my hands. When I told that to people in Israel, like, how? I'm like, I don't think, literally, I don't think. When I want to find a job, I literally go. When I want to find a partner, I literally go. Or when now I don't know exactly what kind of partner, I don't know exactly what I want in my partner wise, exactly when I want to pinpoint myself. So I go exactly inwards with all my power, with all my energy, with all my love, not with the whip like I used to. because it's just not worth it. It's just not effective. Let's say. Um, and the thing is that every time you're gonna pick any thought, any belief system, any pattern, anything you're gonna do like this, you're gonna think, and you're gonna think, and like, okay, this is my mom's, not mine. Thank you. Gone. Now imagine another thing that I don't have to hold in my head. So much energy is open, is available, and that energy creates what I need. And that's why I can go with my love to the grocery store, like we say in Hebrew. I'll just live on it because my mind is free to create what I need to create. I literally just told my business coach that I'm looking for someone to translate my website so I can improve my business. 2 days later, I found a friend who is looking for that job. How does it happen? Well, the secrets, the law of attraction. It works way better when your mind is clear, when it's empty with, well, sorry for the word, bullshit. Because it's just that. It's so many thoughts that got nothing to do with life. And the good thoughts, don't worry, they stay. They don't go anywhere. How to create whatever you want to create, you remember. You don't have to think about that. But the bad thoughts, the interrupting thoughts, the one who kind of always pulling you aside, well, about time to work with them. It's always the emotional attachment. I can give you that. It's always there. If you want to let go of a thought that bugs you, you're gonna have to feel it. And that's hardship. That's the hard part, that's the challenge, and that's why most people don't do it. I do it, and that's why my life is just improving with time. It's not easy at all, and that's why I keep reminding people to breathe because the mind is like, oh, it goes nuts. It's only emotions, guys. Only emotions. Energy in motion. If you want to change something in you needs to move. It means energy needs to go out. New energy needs to move in, which means energy is in motion, which means you're going to have to feel. Sorry if you don't like it, but you have to. It's a part of the deal. It's part of life. I used to hate feeling. Trust me, I used to be disconnected from my own feelings, from my own emotions. I was crying my eyes out in a workshop in Australia, a rebirthing workshop, crying my eyes out like and saying, "I don't know how to feel." That's when my mind kind of like, "Oh, really?" um, Big change from that moment. So, huge recommendation: get to know your own emotions because when they will pass through you, when you want to change your own life, you'll be like, "Oh, it's just like confusion, frustration, jealousy, fear, anger, joyous, love, excitement, relaxation, whatever." It's just energy. It's just like, and that's it. And when the energy that was swept off, the bad energy, the one that we didn't like, um, like I said it to one of my best friends, lately I told him in a conversation, it's not like something amazing changed, but I just tend to see more butterflies, birds, and I'm much more excited from the nature. That's it. It's literally that's it. And this happiness is much more at home, much more natural. I don't think about it. I don't do this for you. Not at all. Trust me. If you want to go back a couple a year ago, you see how my energy used to be. And that was another period of time. And the thing is that that's it. That's the whole fun about it. It's less to worry about. And then it's like more relaxation. It's more, I don't know what to say. It's like I see in my mind Winnie the Pooh. It's just like that. It's nothing like big. like a big vacation. Let's fly somewhere. I remember hearing an amazing sentence: when you live the life you love, you won't look for vacations. I don't. I barely ever went for vacation. I don't like them. It's too boring. It's because it means to me that it will end soon, and then I will have to go back to where I came from. So, what's the point? So for me, it's to improve, 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 improve my own life and my own situation and my own self worth and my own self awareness and my own self love, because this is my life, my own life. And yes, I have my daughter now, and my parents. Pretty much the only emotional attachments I have for humans. Very strong. I mean, I have very, very good friends, which I am very attached to, like Hannah and Doug. Mwah! Yet my life won't crack completely. Well, I don't know actually. Who knows? I'm blabbling, blabbling. I have no idea. That's the thing with emotions. My mind tends to think it knows, but emotions always there. Just yesterday, I said to someone in IKEA, I went to IKEA to buy a new story place for my books and stuff for my daughter, and I just told the clerk there that I don't get confused. I'm very German and very precise. And while saying it, I started getting confused with what I was doing. I was like, oh my god, emotions they come and go whenever they want, and they don't ask us when. So it's our job to just don't get too much excited about them. Like, okay, it's fear. Okay, I'm confused now. I don't know what to do. Okay, breathe into it for a few seconds. That's it. Just feel it. You don't have to do anything but it. Literally, it's amazing how simple it is. It took me years. My mind was, what to do? Nothing. Feel it. When your mind goes like, just breathe. You have to anyway. It's very good because it helps, the living part, biological, but it also helps emotional. Get into the breathing. When you get into the breathing, you step out of your thoughts. When you step out of your thoughts, it's the same as meditation or anything else. You step out of your fears and your doubts and all those shit. Sorry. And that's it. It's that simple. If you're having a hard time breathing, like myself, I'm a very active person, very active, and I'm very, very, very curious person. And notice that that's it. Curiosity helps. By the way, just today, I want to show you a book in Hebrew. It's called The Little Isaac Newton. And I just started talking to my daughter, just giving you an example of how strong the curiosity is in my family. My daughter is 4.5, and a couple of weeks ago, I started explaining to her. I don't know how even the conversation led to it. I picked up a towel and told her, "This is gravity," and she's like, "Can you tell me more? Can you tell me more?" And she's 4.5 years old, and I'm already talking to her about awareness to thoughts and gravity and Isaac Newton and such. Um, and because of my conversation with her, I went to learn a bit more about gravity as well. But with it, I remember this book. And this book, look, it's a template. It's not even a book. It's tiny. It's so tiny. And the most one of and it look every book is kind of word. It's nothing. And this tiny little book changed my life in ways I can't even tell you, because all it says, and I will translate the last sentence, the last page. Simple. I ask questions. Whoever looks for answers for his questions, even if you won't find answers, something good happens to him. Meanwhile, don't ask me why. I read that when I was 7, and I was a very lonesome kid. The other kids didn't really like me. Was different. And just like here, they didn't want to play soccer with me, so I started looking for other things to do. And I was very curious. I always is, sorry, always am, always was. And and my daughter just take, say like this because the shower is there. It's like it's she's so curious. Um, and and it saved my life. It literally saved my life because and I started giving more energy to my own curiosity, and it gave me a push. It gave me a kind of like it's okay. Be curious, and it saved my life. And everything I do, including everything, everyone, the sentence, the it's okay, the sticker that I'm spreading all over, everything comes because I was so goddamn curious. And I still am. I can't stop. Like learning to make a cake, and that's it. I'm looking for something else to learn, and I always am. I need to learn. I need to learn. It's not something that people tell me to do or what I want to do or must do or blah blah blah. I want to learn. Get that. Get that feeling. That is, I want to learn. Incentive. Perfect. Yes, thank you very much, Hannah or Doug, whoever wrote it. Find a good incentive. Like Hannah gave me the incentive for this live. I was completely nowhere close to it. And she just wrote to me and we talked, whatever, I don't know who wrote first. And that gave me a great incentive. Find something that pushes you, that brings you, that interests you, that makes you wake up in the morning, that makes you want to do something. I have like 5,000 already. I'm trying to close the windows. It's only my daughter now, me, daughter, and business, and I'm trying to close. But my mind is like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want like, okay, relax, because this is my mind. But this is what keeps me alive, and this is what gives me the power to go through 2 years and 4 months of deep, intensive, extreme depression. Hard, guys, hard, hard. I was down with a daughter and an ex and other things in life, and that's what gave me the power, the curiosity, the breathing, me, the self. This what gives me the power to do anything I want, to live a life that people will get to know me and see what I do. Like, how do you? Like, what do you mean how? I tell you, but they don't listen. So ask questions and breathe. That's it. Ask questions and keep breathing. You'll get anywhere you want. Anywhere. I'm not kidding. Take the most unimaginable thing you can even put in your mind right now. Possible. Yes, possible. You don't believe me? Give it a try. Possible. Well, I think that's enough. Because it is possible to live with love. It is possible to step out of the fear, the constant, intensive, extremely stressful fear. It's impossible to live like this. How do people live like that? It's crazy. So, pick something you want and start loving it. Get to know it. That's how I love things. I get to know it. I first of all acknowledge it, like, oh, it's there. Okay, what is that? And I get to know it. I ask as many questions as I can about it, and I breathe as much as I can. I bet you feel lighter. Oh yeah, definitely lighter. I feel like I don't know how. Someone told me a month ago that people who don't get to know themselves fall into depression. And I was like, hmm? And I told her, maybe that's why I keep laughing at things, because for the past 30 years, it's the only thing I got to know myself. It's the only thing. I literally, the secret, what's his name? Bob something, in the beginning, this old guy. It's like he's saying, like, I'm studying myself for 40 something years. I want to kiss myself. I know exactly what he means. I know. Yes, I have having hard parts. I know everyone does. It's okay. It's always there. But it's so good. Just get to know yourself. Pick anything. Start the lightest thing. Take it easy. Don't be harsh on yourself like I did. It's no point. With with time, you get more self-assured, and you get to do bigger things. It's always like this. So just don't push yourself too harsh. There's no point. There's always to do something. Fear will always be there. There's no point of beating it because it will just wait for you. Like, you finished? You want again? Fear is always there. So acknowledge, stop fighting, love it. Okay, enough. I think it's enough. Thank you very much, Hanabi. I will just call you Hanabi. It's like honeybee, which you are. It's like honeybee. And thank you, Doug, for keeping being there and loving that woman and being who you are. I don't get to know you. What can I say? Big, 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 big love for everyone. And that's it. Have a great day. Have a great week. And and so on. Ciao, amigos. Oh, have a great Thursday, like Winnie the Pooh said. Ciao, amigos. Ay.